Hello everyone, my name is Sajid Ali. Today in this video, I am going to talk about a poem which is written by John Donne. The title of the poem is Death Be Not Proud. This is a sonnet which is written by John Donne. This poem follows the structure of Petrarchan sonnet which has 14 lines. Friends, John Donne was born in 1572 and died in 1631. He was a major metaphysical poet. So now let's start the summary of the poem. The poem starts: Death, be not proud, thou some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. So in the first line, the speaker is addressing death as a person. Basically, death is being personified as a person in this poem. The poet is addressing death. He is saying to him that, O death, don't be proud of you. Don't be so arrogant. Don't feel so proud of you. He says that people may be afraid of you, they may be scared of you, they may think that you are very dreadful, you are very scary, and you can do terrible things to them. But actually, you are not so. You are not so terrible. You are not so powerful. You are not so mighty. And actually, you don't have any power to do terrible things. You don't have any quality to do terrible things. And the poet says that the people who think that you are very powerful and you are very strong, they are mistaken. Actually, the poet says that people are mistaken in treating you as someone who is fearsome and powerful because you are nothing in real. Next, for those whom thou thinkst thou dost overthrow, die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me. The poet says that those people about whom you think that you have killed them, actually they didn't die. Because as we know that in Christianity it is believed that the people get new life after dying. They get an eternal life in another world after dying. So this is what poet is saying here. He says that those people about whom you think that you have killed them, they didn't die actually because they are still alive in hereafter, and that's why you can't kill me as well. Next, from rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be, much pleasure than from thee much more must flow. In these lines, the poet is comparing death to rest and sleep. He says that rest and sleep are nothing but your pictures. And these things are very pleasurable. So, therefore, you are also supposed to give us more pleasure, more happiness, and more rest. So, in this line also, the poet is criticizing death and he is comparing death to rest and sleep. So, as we know that rest and sleep, these are the things which are not so dangerous. So, that is what the poet is saying that, oh, death, you are also not so dangerous. So the poet is saying that death is not so dangerous because it is like rest and sleep. And as we know that when we go to war and we do a lot of hard work, so we get tired, we get exhausted, and at that point we want some rest, we want some sleep. So that is what death is for us because we are getting rest from death. So therefore we should not be scared of death. Now, the poet says, and soonest our best men with thee to go, rest of their bones and souls delivery. In these lines, the poet is saying that the best people, the best men depart from this world very soon. They go with you very early. And why they do so? Because they want to give rest to their bones, to their body, and they want to free their souls from all kind of pains, from all kind of problems of this world. So that's why they depart from this world very soon and they go with you very early. Now we should understand that who are these best men, who are these best people. So, friends, these best men are soldiers and martyrs who sacrifice their lives, who sacrifice themselves for the greater good, like for the nation, for the humanity, or for any good reason. So, they die young and they depart from this world very early. And in return, they get an eternal life in hereafter, in another world. Next line. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men, and dost with poison, war, and sickness dwell. In these lines also, the poet is criticizing death and he is becoming more hostile towards death. Here, the poet is taunting death as a slave of fate, chance, kings, and desperate men. By telling death a slave of these things, the poet wants to say that death is not something which is free. Death is not something which can do anything on his own free will because death is manipulated and death is controlled by these things. Now, we should understand that how these things control and manipulate death. First of all, if we talk about the fate, so fate is considered as a person and as something in literature which controls everything that happens to people, that happen to mankind, including when they will die. So it means that fate is the main cause behind the killing of someone, and death is just carrying the order from fate. So basically, he is becoming a slave to fate. Now, what is chance? And how chance is the main cause of death? And how chance is the main cause behind the killing of someone? Chance is luck, the idea that things can happen for no particular reason. For example, when people die in any sudden accident, so it happens just because of chance. So here also, death is not the main cause behind the killing of those people, but chance is the main cause behind the killing of the people. Now, we should understand that how kings are responsible for the killing of the people. Friends, if you think, then you will realize that the kings have a large control over the killing of the people or over the death of the people because a king sends soldiers to die in battle or sentence people to execution. So basically, they have the supreme authority to kill the people, and this is not death because death is just following the order of these things. Death is just following the order of the king. So he is just a slave of a king. Now, who are these desperate men? So, desperate men are those who commit suicide or do these kinds of activities to kill themselves. So if someone has decided to kill himself, so here also death doesn't have any choice except to follow his order and to be his slave. So in all these four examples, if you think deeply, then you will know that death doesn't have the supreme authority over the killing of the people, but he is becoming slave of these things, like he is following the order of fate, chance, kings, and desperate men to kill the people, and he can't act on his own free will. And then the poet says, "And dust with poison, war, and sickness dwell." That death hangs out, and the death lives with these things like poison, war, sickness. So basically, the poet is criticizing death, that all the companion, all the friends of death are not so much appreciated and praised by the people in the society, because they are very bad things, they are very mean things, like poison, war, and sickness. They don't have a good position in the society among the people. These all things have one thing in common, and that is they all kill the people, like poison, war, and sickness. These all are the things which kill the people, and this is the similarity between them. Next, and poppy or charms can make us sleep as well, and better than thy stroke. Why swellest thou then? So, as you know, earlier the poet compared death to sleep and to rest. So here also the poet is saying that we don't need you anymore. He says that who need death anymore? Who need you anymore? He says if anyone really wants to sleep well, he can use drugs, and he can use magic charms, he can use opium to take rest, to take sleep. So there is no need of you. He is saying that drugs and opiums, these things can make us sleep in better way than you. So the poet is saying to death, why swellest thou then? So you have left with no reason to feel proud. You have left with nothing to feel proud. Next, one short sleep past, we wake eternally, and death shall be no more. Death, thou shalt die. So, friends, as we know that in Christianity and many religions also, it is believed, it is thought that people get a new life after dying. They get a new and eternal life in heaven after dying. So, this is what the poet is saying here. So, this is what the poet is talking about. He is saying that death is like a short sleep, and after that, we will wake and we will live eternally in hereafter. And death shall be no more. Death, thou shalt die. He says that when we will get a new life, and we will get a new and eternal life in hereafter, so at that point, death himself will die and he will not exist anymore. I hope you liked my video. So if you want to get more such type of videos, please subscribe my channel and like share my video. Thanks all of you for watching it.